Hey out there in YouTube land, it's Michael Christopher here again at East Hartford Police Department. Spreading the word, peacefully, respectfully, that my civil rights have been violated. I've been targeted by East Hartford and the state of Connecticut, at the very least. I've been part of a gang stalking effort over years, and I'm putting all this stuff together, piecing all this stuff together. But it's very frustrating because when you have so many people working against you, making you out to be crazy, delusional, psychopathic, threat to society, and no one's trying to talk to you, they're basing all this information off other people. And then when I finally do come to them and file complaints in some of these police reports, they just flip the script and make it out like it's me. And I'm going to continue to speak on this because it's very concerning, especially in the age of predictive policing, when police officers can literally just change verbiage and change little things in a police report to make you out to be something that you're not. And if they can do that and then just throw it in these fucking algorithms and have a computer decide if you're a threat or not, it's very concerning. And I'm just speaking my word, telling that these people really aren't the most honest people, and not to trust them. I had to learn this out the hard way, by them using community policing to harass, stalk, surveil, and target me over a course of time, working with employers, working with family members, all to coordinate this in such a way where it looks like I'm a liability threat and have mental conditions. It's not right. It's a civil rights violation. And I'm continuing to speak on this. But today I'm going to go over a couple of these police reports that were manipulated once again. I went over them previously, but I'm going to go over them again because it's important to me. This is a police report from East Hartford. Number 200-0016163. Here we go. On June 28th, 2020, this is when all this stuff really started. This was in the middle of Black Lives Matter, COVID. On June 28th, 2020, at approximately 9:30, I was dispatched to an assault at Burger King. 708 Silver Lane. Upon arrival, I spoke with the victim, Michael Goldsboro. Goldsboro explained he ordered from the drive-thru window, parked his car, and realized the order was wrong. So he walked back up to the window. Goldsboro explained that the passengers in the vehicle at the window began yelling at him. Goldsboro explained that the front seat passenger and the back seat passenger exited the vehicle, rushed him, and began beating on him. Goldsboro stated he took some punches. Then they got back in the vehicle and took off west onto Silver Lane. Goldsboro explained he did not need medical attention, but thought something may be wrong with his teeth because his mouth hurt. I did not observe any apparent injuries, even though my shirt was ripped and I was all red. And I had to get my fucking front tooth, replace a piece of my front tooth after this, So, Goldsboro explained that both the suspects who rushed him were black males. Goldsboro was unable to remember what they were wearing and described one of the males had a slim build with wavy short hair. Goldsboro also obtained the license plate, AV41333, which came back to a black Honda CRV. This matched the vehicle description given to me by Goldsboro. There were no witnesses to the incident and the camera at Burger King did not capture any suspects. There were witnesses. This was done in front of employees, right in front of a drive-thru where there should have been video. I was told there was no video. On July 2nd, 2020, I made contact with one of the register's owners of 91 Bissell Street, Alexandria Morales, explained that her daughter, Jaylene Gary, primarily used the vehicle and had it on 6/28/2020. Morales provided me with contact information for Gary. On July 2nd of 2020, I was able to speak with Gary on the phone, who explained that she was at Burger King and that Goldsboro was blocking her vehicle, yelling at her passengers to fight. That's just not true. Gary would not explain details about the incident and only provide me with the first name and telephone number of the front seat passenger, Richard, 207-712-8395. I spoke on the phone with Richard. Richard would not provide any other details to identify himself and state that he would come to headquarters to speak with me about the incident at approximately 7 o'clock. Richard never showed up to meet me. Due to conflicting stories, witnesses, and lack of suspect information, the case will be closed. So, I was assaulted at Burger King. I never asked them to fight. I went up to the drive-thru because this was in the middle of COVID. You couldn't go in. The line was really long. And they got out and jumped me. Why wouldn't the officer follow up with this guy? He says he's going to come to the police department, and then just never shows, and then the whole thing is just dropped. After I was assaulted, it's not right. I never looked at these police reports, unfortunately, until this past year when I was trying to put together why the fuck I'm being harassed, stalked, surveilled, and targeted. Why this is all coming from the East Hartford Police Department, Enfield Police Department. I'm just trying to figure out where all this shit was coming from. But you got to ask yourself, why would a police department and a police officer just drop this thing after just doesn't show up? I mean, that should, at the very least, should raise a little bit of suspicion that guy had a little bit something to hide, which he did. And this is a case that I have to point out again. I did not fight back. I did not engage this person, and I took the beating and walked away, just called the cops, tried to do the right thing. And the facts were manipulated, and, they were just dropped. They had, but on to the next one that's important. This one comes in 2022 at a Webster bank. On Friday, July 1st, 2022, at this police report is 22000-21577 of East Hartford. On Friday, July 1st, 2022, at approximately 10:09, Officer Medina was assigned to Unit 20, was dispatched in response to 1085 Main Street, Webster Bank, East Hartford, Connecticut. A report of a dispute. Upon arrival, I met with the manager, Gabriel, who stated that he got into a dispute with a customer. Torres reported that the male named Michael Goldsboro out of 30 Murray Street, East Hartford, Connecticut, came into the bank and tried to cash a check. When the clerk, Jessica Jackson, requested an identification card, Goldsboro did not have one. Goldsboro then requested to close his account, but was again told no because he had no ID card on him. Goldsboro then became angry and began swearing, calling Torres names. Torres reported that he wrote down the Goldsboro account information to help assist in closing the account. However, he also had the information of another's customer's information on the same form. Goldsboro snatched the paper out of Torres' hand, walked out of the bank. While outside, Torres reported Goldsboro pushed him, hitting the left side of his face in the process, and ripped up a piece of paper and left. Torres reported he was uninjured and declined medical attention. That whole situation is totally false. I'll go over that. I spoke with Jackson, who reported Goldsboro had a copy of his ID card and paper, but because she had not seen him, he did not feel comfortable cashing the check. Goldsboro then began swearing at her and told him, which prompted Torres to get involved. While leaving the scene, I was informed by dispatch that Goldsboro was in the East Hartford Police lobby. I met with Goldsboro, who confirmed that his date of birth was 1/20/88. Goldsboro related to the same sequence of events. No, I didn't. However, he only pushed Torres, so Torres could get away from him while he was outside, while he felt like he was being harassed by Torres. and the security guard. Goldsboro stated Torres also began calling him names while outside. A query of NCIC collect. Goldsboro was made. They revealed nothing was found. Goldsboro agreed to be fingerprinted in identification purposes in East Hartford. False. Goldsboro was booked at this facility and fingerprinted without any issues. It was later determined that Goldsboro's proper spelling was so, which is why nothing was found on him. Query revealed Goldsboro was negative for any warrants. Cameras were observed on the scene. Due to conflicting statements, the case remains open pending camera surveillance. On the follow-up in relation to a dispute, I met with the manager and asked if the surveillance footage of the incident had been retrieved. Torres reported he forwarded all the information to corporate and would not follow up to see if any footage was located. At the time of this writing, I have not received any surveillance of the footage in relation to the incident. Due to conflicting statements made and lack of surveillance footage, no further police action will be taken. Should pertinent information become available, a follow-up investigation will be done. Alright, so I'm going to go over my course of events there. I went in, I had a copy of my ID because I misplaced it, and I got in a confrontation with her because even though I've interacted with this woman, she would not help me out, and I was wrong. I shouldn't have raised my voice. I was wrong. This Gabriel guy comes over, closes my account. Couldn't verify who I was, but closes my account. I'm leaving, and I grab the piece of paper out of his hand because it has my account information on it. He then assaults me, and I leave. He assaults me in the building on camera. And then I leave, and I go to the police department, all right, to file a police report because I was assaulted. I never touched this guy. And then they flip the script like I assaulted him, and no video footage is able to be found. Also, they made me give them my fingerprints. I did not want to give them my fingerprints. They said I could not leave until they verified who I was. I told them they could talk to my neighbors. I told them I can give them a piece of mail. They would not let me leave the police department until I gave them my fingerprints. So a couple things here that stand out to me that should be noted, okay? When have you ever heard of a bank not being able to retrieve video camera footage? They weren't able to retrieve video camera footage because it would prove that I never assaulted anyone, and I was the one that was assaulted by this Gabriel guy. That's number one. And two, when have you ever heard of someone going into a police department and having to give fingerprints for filing a police report? That's two things around this police report that make no sense, and people should try to realize that. I was being profiled. Another thing that should be mentioned about this NCIS, nothing was located. Nothing was located at the time. After getting my fingerprints in later years in 2000, when I went to this Carhartt at South Windsor, lo and behold, they do the same search, and it shows that I got charged with manufacturing and selling drugs in Virginia. Was this have anything to do with them grabbing my fingerprints? Because it didn't show up in 2022, and then all of a sudden, a couple years later, it shows up that I got arrested for selling drugs and distributing drugs in Virginia, which never happened. My military discharge has been changed and been, this is what's happened to me. This is real, and this is what's happened to me. And this is how these people can just manipulate facts, manipulate information to fit the narrative that they want. It's not right. And I'm continuing to speak out about this peacefully, listing some of the irregularities within their own reports, within some of these situations that should not make any sense. I've been targeted. I've been harassed, stalked, and surveilled. I've been psychologically manipulated and made the center of manufactured spiritual warfare. Still not acting out. Not a danger whatsoever. I'm simply speaking my mind like I've always done. And people don't like that when you speak your fucking mind and call them out. Well, I'm doing it peacefully, respectfully, calling out how flawed some of these systems are. That someone can get targeted and harassed, psychologically manipulated by coworkers, family members, friends, people in the community, neighbors, all in the name of community policing. They use a fucking community policing to spread rumors about people. I've talked to another neighbor who said I was selling. There was a talk about me selling drugs to children. That's the only time I've ever heard of it, and never did such a thing. But that just goes to show how cops in the community can just make up stuff while using community policing just to target someone in their own community. It's not right. And it's just not right. I've been made out to be a threat. I've been, subjected to no-touch torture. And this includes my family, which breaks my heart. And I never could have suspected it. And this is how they really got to me. That's the only way they felt like they could really get to me, by using my fucking mother against me. It's evil. It's fucking evil. And I'm just spreading the word. Continuing to spread the word. They violated my civil rights. And I have a reason to speak out about this, because if this has happened to me, this could happen to you, and this could happen to anyone in the community. And people need to be aware of the corruption that is present. But with that being said, God bless and take care.